Thanks for tuning in to Electric Bike Journal. Today we're taking this Orbea Urrun out for a spin to help answer the question, how do hardtail electric mountain bikes fit in? So join us as we go for a ride and figure out what makes this bike so fun. Well, to get things going, we are gonna do a little out and back ride here on that Orbea Urrun, and we'll talk about the bike for sure, but we'll also talk about what makes this bike so fun and why a hardtail electric mountain bike might make sense for you. Now to start things off, let's talk about what we've done to this Urrun. Now I did mention the tires, and that will bleed into the conversation of where we find these bikes to be most enjoyable, but we've also put handlebar bag on here and a frame bag, and we'll just go ahead and jump into our big takeaway from a electric hardtail mountain bike. A hardtail doesn't have the full suspension, so it's not going to be as enjoyable and really rugged off-road riding, but it can do it. And this bike is a blast on single track. It's light, it's nimble, it's fast, and it really has a lot of power to climb up really steep terrain and rocks, but it also descends very well. Treating the Urrun as a cross-country, real big distance type of bike makes days like this, where you're going out doing 20, 30 plus miles of fire roads, really enjoyable, especially when the end of those trails or on the way up, they're single track to enjoy. The mountain bike's just gonna be a little bit more fun and playful than a gravel bike. Now I mentioned these tires not being mountain specific, but they're definitely all road specific. So on gravel roads like this, they really do have really great traction and definitely catch on this slick mud pretty well. Now, if it was deeper and softer, we might want a little bit more aggressive tires, but we do have other bikes for that. So these Johnny Watts 365 compound tires really do make this bike so enjoyable. I have been in eco and trail mode on this ride, which still leaves me boost, which I can intermittently turn on some of the steeper parts of the trail for those 20, 30, 50 feet sections, and then click it back off, just helping keep my speed up and not having to work too hard. Now, comparing a hardtail electric mountain bike to a full rigid electric gravel bike, what are the pros and cons between the two? Well, one of the pros for sure is that you're still on a mountain bike. So you have a little suspension up front, wider tires, and geometry that's just a little bit more aggressive and caters off-road terrain for riding more aggressively. Now, cons are some of those same exact details compared to a gravel bike. You're in a more aggressive geometry or more aggressive rider position, so longer distance and less aggressive terrain, like where it's just like this, undulating. Your body is in a more aggressive posture compared to a gravel bike, so you might not have the same endurance. Equally, those wide tires that we enjoy on mountain bikes are less efficient on distance rides. So comparing this to an electric gravel bike that has narrower tires, there's more tire to move around, there's more tire touching the ground itself as it rotates around, and so that will have an impact on the overall battery range and performance of the bike. Lastly, kind of in that same vein of things, and it could work both ways depending on your terrain, but on a mountain bike you typically run a lower PSI, and the tires are designed to support that, especially if you have E-specific tires for a mountain bike. Running those lower mountain bike pressures on an electric hardtail, on your electric mountain bike, the tire itself will support the bike better and offer more traction. Now, a gravel tire is meant for a lighter bike and not meant to be ran as low in the PSI. So you will get traction, but you'll not quite have the same support that you would from a mountain tire. I'm sure some of you are wondering, with all this talk of distance and range, what are we looking at on the Urrun? Well, it does offer quite a few miles. Right now in trail mode, the calculations are putting me around the 40 to 45 miles left. And that's all variable depending on how much climbing you're doing and what your cadence is, and even how much the bike weighs and your tire pressures. All those things factor in. But compared to some other bikes, the Urrun, Orbea has set up to be able to run a range extender. So you can buy a auxiliary battery that mounts to the frame, plugs in, and will boost your range. And that's great for if you're doing long rides like this and worried about not quite having enough battery at the end. Well, since we got a little bit of moisture and I had to stop to put my jacket on, I just want to talk again real quick about the Urrun hardtail electric mountain bike. We have the Fox 34 up front, Shimano drivetrain, the Dior XT, and a Shimano EP8 RS motor. I also mentioned that that drive unit from Shimano does have Bluetooth connectivity, so there are some apps that you can use to update firmware all on your own. Don't have to go to a shop, but you could also connect it to devices. And for ourselves, we hooked it up to the Garmin, and what's nice about that, especially for distance rides, is that I can have maps and record everything I'm doing on that ride without having to use my phone, so I get to save my battery in case I need my phone later, as well as being able to see some of the extra readouts from the bike that can't all show up on the smaller display that is provided with the EP8 system. Overall, we're about 10 miles into today's ride with quite a few miles left, but this is more than enough for us to be able to justify our position and stance towards a hardtail electric mountain bike, specifically one with a higher quality, Shimano Mid Drive drive unit. It has plenty of power to pedal you for hours on end. Additionally, as a mountain bike, you get that playfulness, you get that sportiness. So taking single track trails, riding real cross-country trails is enjoyable, it's fun, and it's familiar. On the flip side, if you are a gravel rider or maybe a road rider and looking for something more adventurous, this is going to be more adventurous than your average electric gravel bike. It's going to have maybe a little bit better tune for rugged off-road terrain. It's going to be more efficient on really aggressive trails. Having a little bit of suspension up front definitely makes the comfort side of things better. The Urrun here specifically comes with a dropper post, so when you are riding downhill, even if it's on a road like this or over on single track, having that seat get out of the way just gives you more freedom to move around on the bike. But as you can see, plenty of room on this frame to put a frame bag, handlebar bag, and we could even set up a rear rack if we wanted to. There are mounting points for that. And if you threw fenders on there, this is essentially just a touring bike for the backcountry. And so that's our biggest takeaway with the Urrun, and our biggest takeaway for a hardtail. Compared to other bikes, it's going to be more fun and it's going to be more capable all around. And when you have those pros for being more sporty and aggressive, it's going to take away from its efficiency on the road. But ideally, you bought it to split your time and treat it as a true hybrid. So we're going to keep riding, get out on some single track, and head on home. Now we'll take it easy a little bit on this trail, not having real aggressive tires. I don't want to get too crazy, but I'm still gonna have fun. That mountain bike posture Makes hopping over stuff like that a little bit easier and more fun than on the gravel bike. Well, we're done with our single track and we are gonna hop back out onto the kind of more main road to get back to the car. Ends up being a little bit more of a loop than it was a out and back, but this nice open road is fast and hopefully we can stay out of the rain. You know, this is the first real wet weather riding of the season for us, and first time we're really getting a chance to put wet weather, cold temperatures to test on these tires. We had just put these on the Urrun not too long ago, and then the rain came, so it was perfect timing to get ahead of the seasons, to have the right tires on. And now after riding them on this type of terrain, I'm really excited by them. They felt great and they had good traction. They were definitely were a little bit lacking for traction in this type of clay. It's rained really hard the last couple days, so I think pretty much any tire would be looking for a little bit of love. But back out on the road, it took maybe 20 feet and they were already ready to go. Cleared out any of that mud stuck in there, and they really do have good traction on this stuff. So yeah, nice little side review within this video here. If you're looking for some all-season tires for types of riding like this, that you could also ride on the pavement to commute to work. Well, thank you so much for watching. We got quite a few miles left to get back into town, so we're gonna have fun. Let us know in the comments your thoughts on the Orbea Urrun, or just as a whole, hardtail electric mountain bikes. Would you get one? And are you the type of rider that could really use this the best way? I've been having fun on it. I like being able to dart off and hit some single track and jump and play, and equally throw the bags on there and go out for a big long ride. This bike's very efficient, it's quiet, and has the component package to back it up. You know, everything from wheels and the front fork to really good brakes and drivetrain. And I've really been impressed with this EP8 RS motor. I like the tunability within the app. There's a lot of cool things going on with this bike. So be sure to leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And of course, thank you to Schwalbe Tires and Orbea for supporting us on the channel, for doing informative videos to talk about different electric bike topics. So thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one.